In today's video, I'm gonna highlight 10 things that made the biggest impact on my riding this year. I'm currently stronger and faster and fitter than I've been in over 10 years. But way more important than that, everything on the bike just feels easier, which translates to more fun, which has in turn kept me motivated and enjoying cycling more than ever, and I'm loving it. With the new year quickly approaching, hopefully some of this strikes a chord as you start thinking about your cycling and bikepacking goals, so let's get started. By the way, if we haven't met yet, I'm Alan, aka Dirty Teeth. Thanks for tuning into the channel. I'll kick it off with the most expensive investment on today's list, and that is purchasing a brand new full suspension mountain bike. It had been almost 5 years since I had a new squishy bike, and I beat my previous one to an absolute pulp. So I was definitely due for a new one. If this is your first time meeting my Super Gucci Allied BC40, it's named Crockett. It's fast and furious, and it's been helping me chew up and spit out PRs on Strava like it's nothing. I welcome you to check out the unboxing and first impressions video to learn more of the whats and whys of the bike if you haven't already. Now, I'm in no way saying you need to rush out and buy a brand new bike to have more fun or ride faster. In fact, I'm a huge proponent of riding bikes into the ground and only upgrading as necessary, and that's my normal MO. But if I'm being completely honest, having this new bike has really helped bring fresh eyes to old trails. Every time I ride it, I'm grinning ear to ear and I'm giddy like a schoolchild. So if your current bike isn't inviting you to ride because it needs some TLC, I strongly urge you to get it dialed in and make some upgrades or improvements to get you excited about throwing a leg over it again. And if you're potentially in the market for a new bike, just do it. If it gets you riding and having more fun and it's helping you live a healthy, active lifestyle, I can't think of a better investment. You will eventually get your money's worth, and I can think of way worse things to spend your hard-earned loot on. With that said, I switched over to electronic shifting this year, and it's been a game changer for hand pain. After the AZT 300 in April, I had nerve damage to my right thumb, and it took a couple months to fully get back the use of it. It was really wreaking havoc with me at work, since a lot of the shots I do are on the jib, and I hold the back of the camera and I need to subtly finesse it to keep the movements graceful and smooth. Well, I installed SRAM Axis before the Colorado Trail Race in August, and there's no looking back. Crisp shifting with hardly applying any force, no hassles with cables and routing, and a cleaner cockpit. But most importantly, my thumb is happy and I haven't had any pain whatsoever since making the change. So what if I have to carry an extra tiny spare battery? It won't be long before all my bikes have some form of electronic shifting, and in hindsight, I'm annoyed at myself for holding out this long and that it took a damaged thumb to finally convert me. Another game changer for me has been upgrading to Berd Wheels. I can't say enough good things about them. For about 9 months now, I've been riding on Berd Hawk 27s featuring Onyx hook-flanged Vesper hubs and WeAre1 carbon hoops mated to the Berd ultralight spaghetti spokes. I won't go into much detail here because I already made a detailed video linked down below, but I absolutely love these wheels. Not only are they the perfect combo of being strong and light, but I'm telling you, I actually ride faster and more confidently with them. There's a reason why countless pros have made the switch, and Tom Pidcock won the Olympics cross-country race on them. It's hard to explain unless you've tried them, but the radial dampening they offer just makes your ride softer. Yet they're nice and stiff laterally, so handling stays nimble and responsive. And the instant soft engagement of the silent Onyx hubs is the icing on the cake. So if a new bike isn't in the cards, a wheel upgrade might be the next best thing to make your bike feel brand new again. On that note, matching up my new favorite tires to the Berd wheel set has boosted the fun factor off the charts. I know, tire choice is super subjective and personal, but I could not be happier with swapping to Continental Cross Kings for the type of riding I do 99% of the time. For some context, I was previously married to the discontinued first generation Maxxis Forecasters, and I was having trouble finding a worthy replacement. I've also exclusively used Continental Race Kings on my Salsa Cutthroat drop bar bike since the Tour Divide in 2018. Anywho, I was riding in Utah when I tore up an old Forecaster and I needed to replace it right away. The closest match that the local bike shop had in stock for my needs was a 2.3-inch Continental Cross King, which actually sits just as wide, if not wider, than the 2.35 Forecasters. I rode it for the rest of that trip and I've been sold ever since. I used it as a rear tire on both the AZT and CTR with zero issues, and I also like it just as much on the front. So as soon as I wear out my last Forecasters, I'll be cross-kinging front and rear for the foreseeable future. Why? They're grippy in all conditions and they slay on my local trails. Lightweight? Check. Puncture resistant? Check. Fast rolling, long wearing? Check, check. They're the perfect complement to my Berd Wheels, and I hate to be a broken record, but this tire and wheel combo has 100% moved the needle on my riding enjoyment this year, and now that they're mated to the Allied BC40, all I can say is I'm riding on high like a little kid that's been spoiled rotten on Christmas Day, and I'm not sure if I'll ever come back down. Now to a weird, geeky piece of tech that's helped me in a completely different way. This little guy is called an Airofit. It's a breathing apparatus that I was pretty skeptical about at first, but I've seen and felt gains that seem to be slowing down the aging process, so I'm into it. Since I began using it to do the breathing exercises in the app, I've increased my lung capacity by over a liter. And I haven't even been as consistent with using it as I should be. While I'm out riding or doing an indoor workout, I can feel myself taking longer, deeper, and more controlled breaths. Even during harder efforts, my breathing cadence stays more relaxed, and I don't know how to completely put words to it, but I just feel better. Anywho, it certainly wasn't cheap and it's not for everyone. I let my 74-year-old dad use it for a month because I thought it could help him out, but he said it was worthless. But it's really helped me, so I'm throwing it out there. Sticking with the topic of breath work, let's talk about nasal breathing. I've always been a mouth breather, and I've spent a good chunk of the year working on breaking bad habits and utilizing this big old schnoz more and more. I know everyone's different, but I have so much trouble inhaling and exhaling through my nose, even when I'm just lying in bed. Stack on any exertion at all, and my mouth is wide open and I'm sucking wind right away. Maybe I'll make a standalone video on the topic with all the benefits of nasal breathing, but for now, I wanted to highlight the intake breathing system and the little turbine nose ring that the Tour de France winner Chris Froome made popular a few years ago. Maybe it's just because I'm more conscious of it now that I'm focused on it, but I'm seeing more and more pros using different variations of nasal strips and nostril dilators. I'm still testing out different stuff, but the intake and the turbine have made a noticeable difference for me. The volume of air I can move through my nose with these devices versus without, it's like day and night. I switch back and forth between the two for reasons beyond the scope of this video, but suffice it to say, nose breathing and getting in more nitric oxide has helped me a ton. And along with the increased lung capacity and strength due mainly to the Airofit, the combo platter has really contributed to fitness gains on the bike this year. Another annoyance that goes along with getting old is waning eyesight. I've been wearing prescription glasses for over 20 years, and it doesn't help that at work I stare through an eyepiece or at a monitor looking at critical details all day long. But I have managed to get away without needing special sunglasses for cycling. But my prescription has been getting worse over the years and my vision has slowly been dwindling, so the writing is definitely on the wall. I don't wear contacts, but I recently got a pair of prescription sunglasses specifically for cycling from a company called Roka. These glasses are so clear, they're called the SR1Xs, and I didn't realize the detail and clarity I was missing while riding until I gave them a shot. Gotta love these sunglasses. Prescription, clear, sharp, I see everything, all the details. It's been an adjustment and I'm still stubborn and don't wear them as much as I should. But having better sight definitely makes it easy to scan the trails quickly, especially at high speeds. The prescription also reduces eye fatigue on longer rides and bikepacking and ultra endurance races. Don't get me wrong, I still love and recommend my Daz Optics eyewear, especially the photochromic Solas. But if you've got bad eyes and you haven't made the jump, prescription sunnies could be a worthwhile investment. I also started using a power meter for the first time this year, and I'm officially sold on it, hook, line, and sinker. I made a video about using the power meter with my first impressions, etc. I'll put a link to it below in case you're curious. I chose a crank arm based meter, and unfortunately Stages, the company who makes my meter, folded shortly after I received it. By the way, I did plenty of research and they were pioneers in the industry with a great reputation for quality, so I'm super surprised and bummed that they went out of business. But my meter has been flawless and it continues to serve me very well to this day. Anywho, the point is, now that I have a power meter, I'm stoked on it and I'm glad I finally got one. The info it provides me with has helped me ride more efficiently, and I have a better gauge of perceived effort when I'm not using it. It keeps me from going out too hard when I'm bikepacking and guides me to stay within certain training zones to maximize fitness gains. Having the accurate and quantifiable data recorded also helps keep me motivated, and it's like dangling carrots to keep progressing and competing with myself to break personal records. I know what many of you are thinking, and yes, a power meter is overkill for most recreational cyclists. But if you're seeking improvement and you like crunching numbers and geeking out on all that stuff, then it's totally worth it in my opinion, especially in conjunction with a heart rate monitor. In fact, I've grown to love the meter so much, my next major purchase will probably be power meter pedals that I can switch between my mountain bike and fat bike so I can nerd out even more. On the topic of fitness, I'll segue to indoor training, which overall has probably made the single biggest impact on my cycling fitness, as well as overall health and well-being this year. My aerobic and muscular endurance, as well as power output through all zones, and my VO2 max have all improved substantially. I've lost weight and kept it off, I feel fantastic, and I attribute a big old chunk of it to structured training. I've got a playlist linked in the description detailing some of this stuff, as well as my indoor setup, so I won't dig in too much here, but there are two standouts I want to touch on. About 5 or 6 months ago, I pulled off the front wheel from my indoor training bike and replaced it with the Wahoo Kickr Climb. Being able to change the gradient with the touch of a button has really helped me mix up my rides and target specific muscles and kind of replicate the long, steep climbs that I love tackling during real rides. My butt doesn't hurt as much either, since it moves pressure around by changing the saddle angle and body position and all that. This makes indoor riding slightly more bearable and, dare I say it, bordering on fun. No, it's not cheap with a retail price around $700, but if it keeps you getting stronger and makes training more enjoyable, then that's that. The final thing I want to bring up is the Trainer Road app, which I started using at the beginning of 2024. I use it to control my indoor trainer and guide me through a structured training program. I love that it's plug and play and it handles pretty much everything for me. There's a lot I can dive into about Trainer Road, and maybe I will another time, but here's the bullet points of why I find it so useful. They have plans to fit everyone's goals, and it constantly adapts and updates your plan depending on your performance and other factors. It even tells you when you're overtraining and if you need to take an easy day or even need to take a complete rest day. There's also tons of freedom to tailor and adjust it on the fly, and you can move sessions around to fit last-minute changes in your schedule. This has been huge for me since my work schedule is far from consistent or predictable, and I've got 2 kids, one of which is a teenager. I've been using the higher volume plan lately and putting in around 10 hours per week on average between indoor and outdoor rides. If I have an important race coming up, like right now I've got Fat Pursuit in a few weeks, I'll plug it in there and it ensures that I'm peaking at the right time and that I taper appropriately beforehand. It also factors in running or any other activities into your workload, and it'll adjust based on that added training stress. I currently have it linked up with Strava, Wahoo, and Garmin Connect, and everything syncs as smooth as butter. When I joined, it initially prompted me to take an FTP ramp test to get a baseline for me. Since then, it automatically adjusts my FTP every month or so using their algorithms, and it keeps my power zones updated and accurate. You heard me right, no need for FTP tests anymore. That right there is worth the $210 per year. Anyway, Trainer Road makes productive and efficient training a no-brainer, and I'll definitely be re-upping my subscription when it comes due. So those are 10 things that have made the biggest impact on my riding and cycling enjoyment recently. Listen, I don't want you to worry about it. I'm still a mid-pack bike racer at best, but the fun factor is off the charts lately, and I'm feeling good, and I wish the same for all of you. So let us know what's been helping you have more fun and get stronger and faster and better at cycling. Don't be shy. Please add to the conversation down below in the comments. As always, I appreciate your time and hope you'll consider subscribing. And if you've been benefiting from the content we've been putting out for a while, please think about clicking the join button and becoming a sustaining channel member. I have lots of members only videos, and starting soon, I'll be doing members only giveaways to show my gratitude. Anyway, just some food for thought, and until next time, ride bikes, give back, pay it forward. Thanks so much for squeezing dirty teeth into your busy schedule. Please help us reach more people and ensure you receive new videos by giving this video a like, subscribing to the channel, and clicking the notification bell. Until next time, ride bikes, give back, pay it forward.